whenever you want.
Alright, there we go.
Oh man, first cult of lore
Cult
instead
of
of
Lore, finally
body.
dealing with the villains, and I don't
Today,
have
now we're dealing with the bodies.
dealing with the baddie.
Yeah,
She's
I
definitely one.
I told you like when I okay, there we go. I told if in Bane's, I think I mentioned that in Bane's podcast that next unit is going to be Diddy, guys.
Yeah,
And
no, you definitely predicted it. It was wild.
here it is.
I'm
Big
so
house.
happy. I'm so happy that you were correct. I was just like, yes, it's her.
It was very easy, guys. Not just for the pick, but in the context of the story. Like we got to fight her, and it's like, okay, she's got to fight. She's going
Yeah,
to be
no, they
next.
had they had her fully built before they released the story, which was cool.
They had her special and everything.
Which her special was the freaking. Here's the thing. It's like, all right, cool. She does the flower special. All right, guys. Here's the next unit. Has a flower behind him. Well, that looks
I
familiar.
wonder. Uh,
Hold on. See me hold it down. Hold on.
yep. So, guys, welcome to the first Cult of Lore podcast. It's like the Church of Lore, but for bad guys. It's the same concept. It's the same podcast.
Yep.
But we decided when we were planning this up, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if when we touch on bad guys, we change the title to Cult of Lore instead of Church of Lore?
Yep.
Because we were undecisive and we went with both.
So,
Uh,
cult for
all right,
villains, church for
for good guys and story
because
and a little
cliches.
bad cliches. Okay, so nothing in her kit that I can I can say like, hey, this thing in her kit, because you know that sometimes in some units kit they mention like a name or something.
Yeah.
We have we're gonna begin with her pates. So Mal Mincer Cigarga, the enchanted cloak worn by Didi, as he used it faithfully since he began to serve Thouser. It's
Mm-hmm.
suspected that he gave it to her. The ominous magic that the cloak has been imbued with contaminates his surroundings and would instantly engulf and debilitate any normal person for life. To handle this call, the bearer must be gifted and have a mind truly twisted enough to conform with such sinister magic. And Forbidden Veil. By the way, I like that this is the first unit we have with the veil,
Yeah.
like
A little
the
thing
face
covering her
veil.
face.
I really like, not only because holy shit, I think from another culture with the dress and everything.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Arabian things, you know, like desert
Yeah.
and Arabia and that culture, which is really cool. Will we get 80s? Listen to me. Will we get a unit that is a different color skin? Please. Why is everyone white? It is.
I need somebody with dreads one time. Just give me somebody with dreads.
Just give me someone that's not white. And it is looks like she's the first Puck character with the veil and her overall aesthetic and everything. Okay, Forbidden Veil, the face veil worn by Didi. It was especially crafted for her by a certain sorcerer. Around the time she began to conduct disposals, in quote marks, on Thouser's behalf, far and wide. Though the veil blocks the toxins, Didi doesn't wear it for protection. The numerous toxins running through Didi's veins have, albeit unintentionally, made her breath slightly toxic. As such, it's thought that she wears the veil to prevent her own breath from completing with other poisons. So she has it, but it's not to protect everyone from her.
Yeah.
but just do not mess with own her poison thingy. It's
Okay.
like I don't want to be messing out with with that because we know that she has different poisons and everything. All right, so let's tackle the unit lore dojo, if you will.
All right. So unit lore. So the first one is bearer of poison. So the poison wielder who operates Sub Rosa as a subordinate to Bowser, the ruler of the Penal Island Panterbay. Though Bowser has numerous minions at his disposal, very few of them have earned his trust. This is because he does not consider the people around him to be significant. However, there are a few scarce exceptions, one of whom is Dee Dee. Bowser admires her talent as a poison wielder, and above all else, her abnormal ability to carry out brutal objectives with a smile. Given that he also often entrusts her with important assignments in order to live up to his expectation, Dee Dee has naturally assassinated those who stand in Bowser's way, alienated the occasional, annihilated the occasional resistance base, and otherwise acted in secret over a large area. When it comes to battle, she is fond of utilizing the poison that flows through her veins, evident from the numerous times she has been witnessed gleefully watching her poisons make enemies suffer and writhe in agony. When she is in Panterbane, she also interrogates and tortures its inmates. Rumor has it that being subjugated to Dee Dee's poison's playtime can be, in its own way, even more frightening than Bowser's torture.
Sup, Michael Ferret. So, from this, we take that the resistance are, I think it was mentioned in the story, but they had several hideouts through Grandeur,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only one left, that being the northern one. So Diddy has dealt with the resistance before. It's not the first time she's dealing with the resistance, which means that's the reason our dean recognized her in the story and knew that it was her which was messing up with everything. And holy shit, more frightening than Bowser's torture.
That's
Jeez, jeez,
you know what that means. Ooh.
jeez.
No wonder they're friends.
Friend, I wouldn't put it as friends,
Close
more as
associate.
co-worker, I
A,
guess.
a, a close
It's a
associate.
it's a it's a weird relationship they have going on. Really weird relationship.
Yeah.
All right. Following, moving on.
All right. Cool. Chapter 2, A Bloom. According to official records, Dee Dee was born as a daughter to a prominent aristocrat family in the imperial capital, and as such, she had an exceptionally privileged upbringing. Though she had a reclusive personality and took to spending her time cultivating plants, she lived a happy life. That is, until one day Dee Dee came face to face with an event that flipped her worldview on its head. As she was traveling through the imperial capital, she was caught in a battle between an anti-imperial group and the guards who were cracking down on them. The battle was a horrific one, and although Dee Dee herself was uninjured, her attendants were horribly disfigured, and a number of gruesome bodies lay around her. And yet, inside her, she couldn't find anything that resembled feelings of pity nor any of sadness. Instead, something completely foreign to her world so far was coursing through her veins. What is this sensation? I don't know, but from then on, Dee Dee was more enthusiastic about plant cultivation than ever before. However, the plants she grew was not normal flora, but rather solely flowers and other plants which contain toxins. I can't explain it, but when I look at these dangerous botanical specimens, I feel the same way as I did when I saw that gruesome scene. What do I want? When her parents realized that their daughter was cultivating poisonous plants, they initially tried to severely reprimand her and discard them all. However, Dee Dee's backlash was more violent than her parents had anticipated, and so they decided to let her keep the poison flowers. And later, as Dee Dee cultivated even more types, her parents stopped attempting to discard them and rather began to encourage her. This raises the question: what could her parents have possibly been thinking to encourage her? The answer to that question was discovered one day when a man broke into Dee Dee's mansion. That man was Thouser, the very same one who would later become the ruler of the Penal Island, Pantherbane. At that time, he was only an Imperial Knight, but he took it upon himself to investigate after receiving word that her parents were planning a massive operation to carry out a large-scale sabotage using poison and ultimately overthrow the Imperial government.
All right, what we took with this, it is actually a noble, which is really fascinating since she must have had a name for herself and a surname, and she had a family. And the fact that Thouser wasn't always the lead of Panthervane leads me to believe uh, either Panthervane was established recently or it was a thing, and Thouser became the man that led Panthervane. Uh, After a certain event, maybe this event, that he was like put into this position of power inside Panthervane. He became the king of the island. But it's not an island because this event actually reveals that Penal Island Panthervane,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought, it has island, so it has to be outside the capital or something. No, it's out. It is outside the capital, but it's on the capital's like underground. For what I've understood, it's not like an actual island like separate that it's really hard to escape because it's an island. No, it's like a place outside the capital that you can travel to really easily, and that's why Thouser can go and come to the capital that easily because it's not an island, an actual island. It's more
Mm-hmm.
like a title, like it's an isolated prison in the middle of nowhere, I think. So that that answers the question that yes, Panthervane is nearby the capital, but in the event it talks about Panthervane like they talk about Leogora, a place outside of the capital. And we know that Ligora is outside the capital, but it takes a while to get there. So Panthervane must be in a similar state.
Yeah.
And the fact that Thouser was investigating this, uh, maybe it was because he wanted to, or Leodor requested it before he went, crazy. But and if you want me to mention it already, the parallel between Lance of Eliza and Thouser and Didi, with
Yeah.
Lazaville and Thouser both being Imperial Knights. So that's another parallel to that, and it's so funny to think about that. Like, holy shit, yeah, it's a fucking parallel. All right, moving on.
Now in his good graces. Around this time, Thouser became infamous for harshly torturing convicts, and he would show incredible cunning. When he broke into Dee Dee's mansion, he was merciless. Resist as much as you like. If anything, I'd prefer that. It gives me an excuse to really have some fun. Not that I wasn't going to kill you all anyway. Thouser slaughtered
Mhm.
anyone who dared or tried to interfere with his investigation. At the slightest hint of an attempt to flee or defy him, Thouser even executed Dee Dee's parents and other members of the aristocratic family without question.
Wait. Did this man kill Dita's parents in front of her?
Yep, and she didn't care.
What the actual fuck, man?
Bro, she's the honorary that we
Man,
all need.
this man, savage. Did this nuts? Oh, funny joke. It had to be done.
It had to be done.
Without any question. All right, you can move on. You had to say, holy fucking shit.
It said that during all this, Dee simply looked on blankly. Neither sadness nor fear showed on her face. As she watched those closest to her get killed or
I
captured.
can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Wait, can you actually not hear me?
Dojo? Hello? You can move on. You said to say hello?
Hello.
Did I disconnect or something? No.
Can y'all hear me in the
Hello?
chat?
I can't hear you. Can you guys in the stream hear him? Is it my end? Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello? Alright, in the stream I can hear you, but in Discord I can't.
I can hear
That's
you. I
weird.
haven't disconnected at all.
Can you guys in the stream hear him? Hold up. What's going on?
First day back.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties on the first day back.
Wait a minute.
Sensational. What's up, Sans? You've been comment. I appreciate you, Sans, always commenting on my
Dojo. I can't hear you.
Oh my God.
I don't know what happened.
All
What
right, guys,
did we
hold on.
mess up this
We're
time?
gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Hold on.
Did
What up,
I
Gons?
mess up? Then.
Hello?
I can hear you now.
All right.
What happened?
I don't know. I didn't change anything. I just started reading again.
That's weird. Discord bug.
Dojo, I sound really. I'm sorry. My voice is kind of gone. I'm getting over like a slight head cold. Hold on.
Don't worry. Take your time.
Let me do this. How's
Take
this?
your time, man. You sound really quiet. Yes. It was a technical difficulty. Don't know how that happened.
Yeah, there we go. How's that gone?
Right.
I tried turning myself up, turning my mic up a little bit.
Right now the cam thing isn't working as intended. All right. As you fix that, I will keep reading.
Yep, go ahead.
At even the slightest slaughter any who dared right? With another question. It is said that during all this, Didi simply looked up blankly. Neither sadness nor fear showed once on her face. As she watched those closest to her get killed or captured. And then Thouser saw the look on her face. He grinned widely and took her in without turning his blade on her. After leaving the mansion, neither Thouser nor Didi spoke a word. Thouser decided to put her in a prison within his jurisdiction and leave her there for a while. And Didi silently spent her days there, only opening her mouth to nibble at the meals she was provided. However, this all changed when in the mansion was found evidence of the plot to overthrow the imperial government, and it came to light that Didi was the one who had grown the poison. So, what was Didi's planning here? Was it to kill Leodor? Was it to get rid of the... Because it says imperial government. So this might be tied to the 3 emperors that we've been hearing about in the story. So what's our plan to kill the emperors?
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
All right.
Didi was then...
Oh, go ahead. I have a theory, but I'll wait for you to finish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just one, and then Didi was then taken from her cell and brought before Thouser. Okay, you can put the sticker up.
I got the sticker.
You missed the sticker, didn't ya?
I did.
You missed the I have theory sticker. I can see it in your eye.
Where is it at? There it is. This is not the right sticker. Hold on. It's a good thing I caught this first. While I find the sticker, there it is. Wee. There we go. Bam.
Bam.
All right, cool. So, my theory is, her parents actually were the ones planning it, and they were using Dee Dee's flowers as just a means to an end. Like, I don't think Dee Dee actually had an anything to do with them actually planning on overthrowing the government. Because it's like, originally they wanted to stop her from growing the flowers. And then, as it said in the previous insert, they were just like, you know what? No, let's have her make more flowers and see what she comes up with, right?
Oh, so you think the parents were the ones that wanted to overthrow the imperial government?
Yeah, because here's the thing.
And
Even if you're an aristocrat, right? We've seen in other fantasy movies, genres, games, right? It doesn't matter how high in status you are, you always want more power.
more, yes.
So it seems like, I feel like the way this is supposed to be interpreted is, okay, yeah, Dee Dee grew the flowers, but it wasn't to overthrow the. She was just growing them because she loved the whole thing of like pain and poison, and all of that was fascinating to her. So she was just like, you know what? Okay, cool. Why not? I can quite literally cultivate something that causes pain and despair. Right. So that's what my theory is on that.
Yeah, it makes sense that the parents wanted to overthrow the government, you know, and they let Didi do her flower thing. Like, we can use this. All right. Do you want to keep reading?
Yeah, I'll read. I'll keep reading. I got it.
All right.
All right. So
where are you? Were
Right,
you the one who cultivated those flowers?
Were you the one who cultivated those flowers? I was, and you must be Master Thouser. I've been waiting. To what do I owe the honor? Though in front of her was the man who captured and slaughtered her parents and family, Dee Dee did not seem at all daunted by him. Instead, she seemed positively gleaming at this meeting. After all, it was through a sealed letter from an unknown sender that Thouser first learned of this plan to overthrow the imperial government. Why'd you sell out your family? Hee hee. I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. You're mighty contemptuous, but this is amusing. I like crazy ones like you. Hey, he has a type.
Advent, is that you?
Afterward, Dee Dee was absolved of all charges for unknown reasons. Rumor has it that Thouser had his hand in this behind the scenes, as well as that after Thouser became the master of the Pino Island Panterbane, Dee Dee had somehow come to serve within Thouser's inner circle. So that means that there's other people serving Thouser. I can't wait to meet them. I want to know who these other people are in his inner circle.
Yeah, Thouser's inner circle, as in a group of people serving under him. And once again, when Thouser became the master of Pino Island Pantherbane, so what happened to the previous master? Who was the previous master? Why did the change happen? So many questions, so little answers. Maybe when we talk about Thouser's story, it mentions it. But I don't remember reading something about how Thouser became the power of who was the previous one before him.
Yeah.
That I can remember.
So, chapter 4. In Venom.
Wait, before they say, Lady Didi is a gardener by trade and a sadomastic by heart.
Facts.
Yeah. She just wanted to grow poison flowers to inflict pain on people. Alright, keep going.
So, chapter 4. In Venom Flowers in the Dark. In the present day, Dee Dee works under Thouser, for whom she has successfully completed a variety of arduous objectives. In addition to the poisonous assassination techniques, she is renowned for her prowess in combat, is also said to be absolutely top-notch. One day, Dee Dee was tasked with assassinating a powerful aristocrat in the imperial capital. The aristocrat had been calling for the abolition of Pino Island Panterbane, and thusly become an obstacle for Thouser. In the dead of night, as silent as a shadow, Dee Dee snuck into the aristocrat's mansion. There, she instantly found herself surrounded by heavily armed soldiers because the targeted aristocrat had caught wind of the plot and arranged for them to lay in wait so as to thwart her. The aristocrat immediately gave the orders to kill Dee Dee. Dee Dee was now cornered with no obvious escape, and yet her face showed not a twinge of panic or despair. On the contrary, Dee Dee smiled maniacally with excitement at what was about to come. It was I who sent the tip that I would sneak into your mansion tonight. That way I can kill even more.
Wait.
That's a Uno.
Wait,
that's
she said that trap to herself?
That's an Uno reverse card right there.
Like, actually, I was the one who gave a tip to you.
Hey, listen,
so
I'm going to come here to kill you tonight.
Holy shit, this is like Phantom Thieves from Persona 5 stuff. By the way, I checked on Lougseus lore. It doesn't mention the previous Master of Panther Vein, but it does mention that the Tool of Faith. So yeah, it must be in Leodor turning crazy and the Tool of Faith being installed, the thing that made Lougseus the current Master of Panther Vein. That confirms that.
Fair enough.
Which we don't know when this was, because Adis doesn't provide with dates at all. But yeah, Didi said up to herself.
Yep.
It's so wild. Like, why would you give clues to yourself so you can kill more people?
She said, why wait for them to come to me? I want them all here.
Man. This is... So I compared, her to Lily because, you know, experiments or something.
Yep.
But man, she's crazier than Lily is. Alright, you can continue.
Seconds after Dee Dee so announced, the soldiers surrounding her began to lose all feelings in their bodies. Unbeknownst to them, a deadly poison had been released into the air from her body. Most people foolishly equate the word poison with liquids, but there are countless kinds of poisons, including ones that can be dispersed into the air.
Yep.
The deadly poison that Dee Dee had released immediately spread throughout the mansion, affecting even the aristocrat who stood behind the soldiers. And as every one of their faces contorted in agony, Dee Dee looked on with great satisfaction. You know, this particular poison doesn't kill immediately. If you kill me right now, there's a chance that you still may live. And oh, how fun it will be to see you try. Sometime later, the Imperial Guards received a report of a strange smell coming from the mansion and entered the house to investigate. What they saw there were the disfigured corpses of the aristocrat who owned the mansion and countless soldiers, all their faces transmuted into expressions of pure agony. So that weird smell was rotting flesh.
Yep. Alright, so what says here? Yes, most people, as a man of science. Hello, science, I'm here. I took chemistry. I'm not kidding. So poison is something when you smell or eat or something touches your body. And he left. Bye, Dojo. Well, don't worry. I'll tackle this. Poisonous refers to when someone touches something or breathes something and then you get poisoned, which is different from venomous. Venomous is if it bites you, then you die. You can die. But poisonous is if you eat that, then you die. It's different. The difference between poisonous and venomous, I can search it. Poisonous. It was a phrase. Poisonous, you go. Venomous, it's animals whose toxins are produced by animals. So yeah, it's like you breathe it or you ingest something, and it doesn't even have to be a liquid. It can be a gas or it can be a solid. There are a lot of things that if you eat, you can die.
Yep.
But yeah, the fact that it's poisonous and venomous, like it's not a thing that no, it's just less. And the fact that she's using a poison so strong that I can disfigured bodies. Like she's using acid poison. Like poison that can melt your skin and your face. That's more leaning into, as I said, no, it's leaning more into acid than poison. But there are a lot of poison that have the side effect of burning your skin or
Poison
something.
acid. Dun, 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 dun. El Sharia.
Yeah, it's more like acid. All right. Now onto the arc lore. You can pull up the
I already have it.
beautiful arc
I don't
art.
have the arc. I didn't get the arc art.
I
Because,
can.
RNG doesn't like me.
Didn't you figure out how to pull
Yes,
this?
I have to. Oof. I have to do a lot. Hold on.
Pull the art onto a new tab and you screen record that.
I'm doing it, Timmy.
By the way, heavy ass lore incoming, and this one's a sad one, boys.
Yeah,
I will not.
I glanced at it. Oh my god.
You will cry with this one, and it's long, so bear with us, please.
Where is the?
It's not our fault that 80s made this art. By the way, I this arc lore so long and heavy. And by the way, I just have to say, this might be one of the most beautiful looking arcs that 80s has done, period.
Really?
This looks so clean.
You think
when
the
I
arc
first
is beautiful?
saw it, when I first saw it, I was like, holy shit, that's cool. That's real. I love it. I love that art. I love the arc art.
You said it. You said it was cool.
It's cool. It's beautiful. I love it. It's not as heavy as other arc arts. Like arcs usually have a lot of things. It's simple, to the point, but there's something about it. The use of color, the details. There's something about it that when I saw it, it was like, wow, I like that a lot. I actually like that arc a lot.
He said it.
And I wanted the arc just for the art. Like, holy shit.
Wow, really?
Is it? It's not up.
Yeah, no, I'm still scrolling to the arc.
Oh no, it's here. Let me do the thing.
I did, bro. We have 170 arcs in the game.
Here we go. You're searching for the lore.
No, not the lore. I have the lore.
No. Here. Just can't you pull a new?
Oh yeah, no. I just made a new tab. I'm doing it right now.
So you're in OBS or something?
Yes. Why are you doing
If
this?
you're in OBS, make a new image. A new browser, and paste the arc link. Like, copy the arc link and paste it there, and it should work. Okay. I've worked with OBS. So new browser, you copy the link of the arc, you paste it in, and you open the open original. No.
Yeah, no.
You open original. You copy the link, and you post it in a new browser, and it should be there.
Yep, I got it.
Of course.
Right here. I'm making sure that.
Yeah, and we can change that with if it's not posted officially with another link. I've been working with this because I've been playing a new Pokemon and I have to switch up the Pokemon. So I've looked at image on Google and it worked.
Oh
It
yeah,
just
nah, the
worked.
Oh well, it's up there
Have
now.
you grabbed the original? The one that I posted in live chat?
You posted one in the live chat. Let me see.
Yeah, the live chat.
Dude.
It's the one that posted on Twitter. It's so beautiful.
Oh wow.
Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. They don't shish. You just replace the link. That's it. Just,
Okay. Oh wow, I can literally just do this now. That's crazy. That makes it so much easier.
yeah. You just open and then you go. No, you open the link.
I know it just opened and
Open
now
open
it wants to be
original
difficult.
and then you copy the link. Yeah.
Listen here, you.
Go.
There you go.
And
Oh, chat is
it
leaking.
should work.
Don't worry about that.
It should work.
There we go. There we go.
We figured it out after 4 episodes. Don't worry, guys. We figured it out. And if not, we could always look at the banner.
Yeah, no, I got it.
No, it's not. It's on the banner.
Yeah, I got it up there. It's good now. Whoop.
Got it. So yeah, long ass story coming. Long ass lore dump.
Yep.
There we go. Big ass.
Yep. Nah, holy crap! I can actually look at this thing now. This thing actually looks dope.
You.
Yeah, there's a little delay. Remember, there's like slight delay.
Are you? Did you?
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, but can you check the lore without
Yeah,
going away?
Yeah. I just reopened the thing on my other monitor. Winged poisonous anti-god.
Well,
this thing looks sick, yo. I want this to be a character.
that's what I said.
I want this to be a character. All right.
You can start.
Okay, so winged poisonous anti-god. Oh, I'm gonna try to do some voices. Ooh. Damn it! This is bad. Lanceville frowned. I'm stuck on the fact that Lanceville fought this thing. Lanceville frowned at the abhorrent enemy before him, which was readying the spear it wielded for another strike. Then, with a beast-like roar, his enemy repeatedly gave a few strikes at him. Lanceville barely managed to dodge, but he lacked any strength to return the attacks. The poisonous miasma that spewed from his opponent's body had slowly eaten at his body. The toxins were so potent that while Lanceville could still take a fighting stance, most of his men encircling the opponent alongside him had already been poisoned and were on their knees in agony. It was in these circumstances that Lanceville gave the order. Fall back! All men, evacuate the area! It all started while Lanceville was patrolling the Mardana mainland, when he received word from the commanding officer of the troop station there. According to the officer, an abhorrent beast had suddenly appeared in the heart of Mardana. In addition to its beast-like arms and legs, the beast had sinister wings, wielded a razor-sharp spear, and wore adamantine armor. So this thing, that is armor. Okay.
Yeah.
A terrifying miasma constantly poured from its body, and this poisonous gas had already devastated the surrounding plants and animals. The beast's sinister figure and dreadful miasma made locals tremble in fear that an anti-god has come.
All right. First time that we've heard this term, anti-god.
Yeah.
This is the first time this concept is introduced. I'm going to say it right now. It doesn't quite explain in the arc lore what an anti-god is, but we're going to get there.
Okay.
It explains but it doesn't get to the point. But keep reading.
With the damage that it's doing, this can't be ignored. Upon hearing the news, Lanceville gathered a force of troops stationed nearby and went to slay the beast. And they were defeated.
This beast thing, how fucking this
Hey, he
thing
went to go
fucking
gather
around.
people to fight this thing. They lost. All right. With the knowledge that the beast shrouds itself in poisonous miasma, Lanceville and his men have naturally taken protective measures. However, the poison was far more potent than anything they had anticipated. Nothing we did seemed careless, but Lance remarks, his expression going cloudy. Fortunately, thanks to Lanceville's early order to retreat, he and the troop station in Mordana suffered only minimally. However, this had also made it clear that even if they challenged it again, this so-called anti-god was not a beast they could defeat on their own. I need to return to the Imperial capital and form a beast-slaying party at once. I'll also have to inform Prince Roland. Ooh.
Yep.
Lanceville decided to give the troops stationed at Mordana a strict order to never fight the beast under any circumstances and temporarily return to the Imperial capital. But that was another reason for this return home, besides a simple gathering of reinforcements and informing Lord Roland the spear that the beast wielded and the armor that it wore were eerily similar to those once supplied to the knights of the Aldanian Empire, and he wanted to find out why. Is that abhorrent beast related to the Empire in some way? Maybe I could gain some information if I have a lot. The entire trifecta is here. Maybe I could gain some information if I have Eliza look into it. That's crazy.
All right, and then, so nobody gets confused, please. Nobody get confused. This changes between Lanceville's story, that is this first entry, and then the third entry. Yeah, but this entry, no, wait. All right, so this second entry, it's like a diary or a log. It's like someone else is writing it. It's not a narrator. It's a dude diary. It's a dude's diary. It's so nobody get confused. This is in the past. This is like flashback time. And this is a dude's diary. That's why it says inscription from an other world. World. This is a dude's diary. And this is like in the past. But it's related to how this came to be. I'm gonna read this one because I don't think you can handle this one, though.
You think I'll think? Hold on, now I'm taking this.
This is the sad part.
I take this as a challenge.
I want to read this one because I'm like the dude that's writing this.
All right, go ahead.
Description from another word, and I want to give this a try.
Yeah.
Our crew's mission was to investigate an interdimensional gate discovered in a certain ruin, as well as what lay in the dimension that it led to. That's the line it opens with. So yes, there's interdimensional portals have been a thing for a while. It's not rare. It's like it's a thing. While it definitely wouldn't be a walk in the park, this mission was important, difficult, and honorable. In as much as it was, we might even get promoted, provided we could come home. And I'll finally be able to give my wife, Almira, a better life. At least that's what I thought, until we stepped foot into that other world. Passing through the interdimensional gate, we found ourselves in a field of these enchanting purple flowers, blooming all around us as far as we could see. For a while, all my crewmates and I could do was gaze in wonder at the beautiful and mysterious sight around us. However, things soon turned for the worse. All of a sudden, my crewmates began to collapse on the spot, grimacing in pain. Poison! These purple flowers are poisonous! By the time my brain had formed that thought, it was already too late. Within seconds, I found it almost impossible to breathe and collapsed there on the spot. So these dudes take a portal to Claudia. Step on a flower field made by Didi. And like that, uh, we follow this marvelous lore. I don't really remember what came next. Somehow I managed to crawl away from where the flowers were blooming profusely. As for what happened to the other members of my crew, I can only guess. They most likely all died. My consciousness hasty. Eventually, I happened upon a new and unfamiliar land. I'd been wandering for several days by then, but it was there that I finally discovered a human settlement. Looked at me, said, as if I was an absolute monster, and ran away screaming for their lives. Most likely, this dude's face was like melted off or something, and that's why they like run away.
Yeah.
This encounter prompted me to find a mirror in the settlement and check how I looked. And what I saw shocked me. My skin had grown spotty? How do you say that? Blotchy, covered in open sores and rotting flesh. Those I may flee must have reported me as a large force of soldiers appeared and surrounded me in short shirt. Perem- Perempt, holy shit, peremptorily, they began to assault me with punches and kicks, violently handling me as if I were just some beast. After they took me in, they roughly tossed me into a cell. The cell was located in an island-turned prison they called Battery. The Battery is an island, but it's just near the capital. And Thouser, I guess, just takes a skyship because we know that those are common.
Yep.
That penal land was hell. I was subjected to daily torture by brutal guards who beat me with whips, claws, and whatever blunt instruments they had. My body, already been eaten and ruined by the poisonous flowers, became an utter shambles. And yet I managed to endure the torture. I was able to hold on because I still held the slightest hope that those in my home worlds of perhaps my friends in Empire would one day show up to rescue me. But as the day continued to pass on the Penal Island, even someone as thick as me could see that no help was coming. My crew, no, my whole empire, had thrown me to the wayside. This realization was threatening to plunge me into despair when a man appeared before me. I noticed him suddenly standing to the side of where I've just been sleeping, as if he had faced through the locked door, an impenetrable wall of my cell. But I lost that. Uh, wait, there we go. Uh, for me, for myself. And now, Jesus fucking Christ, it's just, let me, there we go. Or not. It's just that I have to scroll on the side because it's not in wait, I just, here we go. Here we go. The realization. I noticed him on side. I noticed him suddenly standing to the side of where this realization was threatening to plunge me into despair when a man appeared before me. I noticed he was suddenly standing to the side of where I'd just been sleeping, as if he had faced through the locked door and an impenetrable wall of my cell, and though he wore a hood so deep I couldn't see his face, I heard the words he spoke to me. "Hey there, overworlder. Wanna make a deal?" His voice was strange. It was hoarse like an old man's, yet his manner of speaking felt far too young. And despite his sudden appearance, I felt no surprise and looked at him blessedly. My body probably lacked the energy to be surprised in the first place. The man paid no mind to my looks either, and after introducing himself as a prisoner from the lowest layer of panther vein, continued speaking. That body of yours has been eaten by the Jinx-bane Noxie flower, but it still shows traces of his original form. It'll be fascinating. It'll be a fascinating research specimen. Would you be willing to undergo a few experiments for me? Jinxbane Noxiflower could that be the name of the flowers that bloom so prevalently in the field where I first arrived in this world? The thought popped into my head as I listened to his words. Of course, I will compensate you in return for your cooperation. I'll grant you one wish. I remained silent, unsure on how to respond. After a moment, as he had read my mind, the man said, I'll come visit you after later for your answer. And just as he had suddenly appeared before, he vanished into thin air. Despite the incredibly shady impression of the man gave, I still felt that he was telling the truth when he said that he found my body interesting and would grant me a wish in exchange for my cooperation in his research. My body probably wouldn't last much longer before it gave up. I didn't know who this man was, and I definitely wasn't interested in whatever he intended to do with my body. But no matter what he did, it surely couldn't get worse than how it was right then. Besides, the thought of remaining in my torturous place made me feel unbothered about being killed by him if it came to that. So I decided to make the man up on his offer. As for what I wished for, well, that was obvious. I returned to my world. I'd had enough of this one. I wanted to go back where the home I was born, where my dear Almeida was waiting for me. When I first read this, I was like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck?
Yeah, this is very depressing.
It's not just depressing, it's who the fuck's this man? What the fuck happened here? And, well, you'll see why this gets worse. This gets worse. But yeah, this dude shows up, was like, hey, dude, you wanna be my research subject? I can grant you a wish. Alright. He sounds a lot like Lily, and I know that theory time, by the way. By the research thing and everything, he sounds a lot like Lily, and we know there's a male advocate, but he's like a prisoner panther vein of the lowest level. So are we going to meet this man in the prison break arc? Or is this just going to be, oh no, he's just there, and we never mentioned him again? Because what this man does to this man, like this mysterious man does to this soldier, well, you can start to connect the dots of what he does. So you can read the following one. We're back with Lanceville and everything. So, go on.
Oh, yeah, nah, this is depressing.
I told you. I told you this was sad time.
I mean, I didn't think it was that sad, though. Jesus.
Third finding report.
Here we go. Reporting on the investigation of the so-called anti-god beast that appeared in the heart of the Mordana mainland, Eliza's dignified voice rang out. Gathered in the room in the imperial capital with her were Lily and Lanceville of the Council of Ten, as well as Prince Roland. Though the spear it wielded and the armor it wore have transmuted slightly, There's no mistaking that they are one and the same as the armaments provided to the knights of the Aldanian Empire. Upon hearing Eliza's words, Landsver responded, "So does that mean the Empire has had a hand in this?" "I believe so. My informants are still monitoring the beast, but we've confirmed that the armor was engraved with a nameplate, one which identifies the armor belonging to a former Aldanian knight who went by the name Samuel." Taking a short pause, Eliza turned to face Roland. Once she saw him give a slight nod, she continued with her report. "Several decades ago, the Aldanian Empire Imperial Army sent a squad to investigate what lay at the end of an interdimensional portal that was discovered in the deep of a certain ruin. One of the members of that investigation squad was Samuel, and he and the other members of the squad headed toward the other world with high hopes and a spirit de corpse. But moments after they stepped through the gate, the ruin collapsed. Though the ruin was reactivated, the interdimensional gate had vanished, and with it went all traces of the squad members. No one has seen or heard from them since. I suspect that the beast is Samuel himself, having undergone something in the other world that transformed his appearance so drastically, and then he returned home to Granzelia, I suppose."
Pause here.
Okay.
So what this dude did was turn Samuel into this monster that we see in the arc. So yeah, that was a person once, and he was granted his wish.
Yeah.
He came back home, and these ruins that they mentioned, I wonder if we're going to know more about them and what they are and where are they or where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can use that in the current story to get back to Claudia. If a portal to Claudia formed once in that place, maybe it can be reformed once again.
Yeah.
Right, move along.
Moving on. Upon hearing Eliza's report, Lansville's expression darkened, and he began to mutter to himself. What befell Samuel in that other world, only Samuel could know. However, it must have been unimaginably harsh to turn him into something too abhorrent to recognize as having once been human. And just how would he feel after returning to Granzelia in that form? As an Imperial Knight, Lansville surely could not help but have mixed feelings. According to the further information provided by Director Eliza's informants, the beast Samuel was headed toward the Aldanian mainland while emitting in his wake a miasma that inflicted massive damage. His actions seemed to be without reasons, and at times he would give beast-like roars and growls. It was clear that unless something was done, the destruction of that poisonous miasma would continue to grow.
Okay, another pause, because I thought in my head, how this dude, the one that turned Samuel into this beast, has the power to do gates or interdimensional portals, because if he could return Samuel into Granzelia, he must have that power. So I really hope we meet this dude, because if he has that power, fighting him will be so interesting.
Yep.
Or just knowing who he is, because we don't know. Alright. Continue with this tragic story.
Can we not do anything about the miasma? Its toxins are unlike any in Granzelia, so it would be required quite some time. As Lansville and Eliza began to speak irritably, Lily coldly interrupted them. The miasma won't be stopped unless we cut off this person's life force. That being said, I could make an antitoxin that temporarily neutralizes the poison. It'd make for fascinating research specimens, so how about I handle the disposal of this person on behalf of General Lansville? I don't know about that. Lansville's reluctance to accept Lily's proposal was written all over his face. However, he had already battled and lost against Samuel. He was in no position to make any firm oppositions. Lansville looked in Roland's eyes. Whether Lansville would get another stab at quelling the beast, or if Lily would go, the prince would be the one to make any further decisions. However, Roland's next words were entirely unlike anything Lansville had anticipated.
Man, I hope you're grabbed to the seats for this one.
I'll go slay Samuel. Oh, he wants smoke. Okay. I'll go slay Samuel myself. Lily ordering you Lily, I'm ordering you to prepare the antitoxin. Though Lily's body betrayed her surprise as well, she answered with nothing more than a simple understood. Meanwhile, Lanzela and Eliza erupted into an attempt to stop Roland. Lord Roland, there is no need for you to go there on your own. If I may, I will go once again and slay this beast. Exactly, I'll go with Lancelot together. I'm sure we will defeat the beast. In response to their protest, however, Roland simply turned his head and replied in a determined voice, "No, this is something I must do." Oh,
Gets worse. Yeah, I told you it gets worse. So
I'll let you read this last one because
as long as we know, anti-gods are people who turn into beasts or experiments of some dude. You turned off your cam there.
yeah, I don't know why I was. Jesus, all right, here we go. Actually,
So
I'm gonna
as
go grab
long
some
as we
water,
know,
so you got this.
anti-gods before reading the last entry are people with this dude that is in Panthervine turns people into beasts, and those people who he turns into beasts are called anti-gods. So maybe that's what an anti-god is, or as far as we know, that's the only thing it could be, like the title given to people who are turned into beasts. But the fact that they're called anti-god is so fascinating. I'll read this last one. Right. I told you this was tragic. And your cam is still off. I don't know if you're having lots of technical difficulties today. Alright. And okay, fourth chapter in Cum Brains to Bear. In a place away south the imperial capital in eastern Mordana, Roland waited for the entity known as Samael, the former Aldanian knight. When he arrived, they stood facing each other. Samael gave a loud, menacing howl at the sight of Roland in front of him, as thick miasma released from his body. Roland, on the other hand, quietly took a deep breath to test the effects of Lily's antitoxin. The fact that Lily knows about the poison might be because she's from Korea. So that explains that. After confirming that the poisonous miasma was not having very much impact on his body, Roland steadily drew his sword. "You shall not pass further than this!" As a fierce battle unfolded, two people watched it intently from the sidelines. Those two people were Lancelot and Eliza. Those two had wanted to fight alongside Roland. However, Lily had only prepared enough antitoxin for one person, so they were left to simply watch from afar, safe from the miasma's effect. I think this was Roland's doing. Like, I know they want to fight with me. Don't. I know I want to fight him alone. Even so, if Roland were to end up in danger, both would wholeheartedly jump into battle. Poisonous miasma be damned. Do you think Roland will be okay? So long as the antitoxin keeps working, he shouldn't have any problems. Lanceville calmly answered the nervous Eliza. This was not because he was attempting to ease her worries, but rather because his faith in Roland's victory was set in stone. Of course, the poisonous miasma was dangerous, but so long as that could be managed, Samael was not an undefeatable opponent. In terms of simple close combat, Lanceville fairly well met his earlier battle in Roland, but even more so. The battle between Roland and Samael grew fierce, but just as Lanceville had said, since the miasma had no effect on Roland, Samael was growing more and more overwhelmed by Roland's swordsmanship. Ha! I'm not making this up. That's part of the written arc lore.
Yeah, no.
Eventually,
Yeah, no, it's even in the lore of all three of them, it is said that Roland is the, I gotta say, more aggressive sword fighter than Lanceville.
Yeah, the growls are in the arc lore.
Yep.
They're canon. Eventually, with a swing of his sword, Roland severed off Samuel's left arm, and it fell limply to the ground. Samuel's body trembled in pain, and yet it seemed that his fighting spirit had not wilted while he continued to attack Roland. Attacks were reckless, as if Samuel wanted to make the all pain he experienced clear to Roland. However, the attacks were no match for Roland, who followed up with a slash to Samuel's leg, severing it as well. As Samuel fell to his knees, Roland thrust the tip of his sword at Samuel's neck. And had he continued his attack, that would have been the deciding blow. But Roland hesitated momentarily, for in Samuel's eyes he saw sadness and anguish. Even so, Roland could not sheath his sword. Before him was a knight who had gone to investigate another world for the Empire's behalf and returned home woefully disfigured. I need to do more. He had to be slain to prevent further destruction, but killing him would generate karma that Roland must bear as the crown prince of the Empire. Karma which must not be foisted on anyone else.
I love how the first Cult of Lore podcast we do is the most depressing one. I am getting more and more depressed following along. Jesus.
Forgive me.
Jesus Christ.
I told you this.
I know, but God, yeah, I don't even want this arc no more in game. I'm off of this. I'm taking a nap after this.
Jesus Christ. I ate it. Are you okay?
No,
Did someone hurt you?
Man, this Tales collab. I better get everything. I don't even, man. Listen.
Oh,
keep going.
Here you go.
Keep
you
reading. Just keep reading. Keep going. Just keep going. Oh my God, this is depressing.
Forgive me.
No, I don't, Simi. I don't forgive you. Keep going.
No, that's the next line.
Oh, it is. Oh, wow, it is. Okay, never mind.
That's the next line.
Never mind. Never mind. Keep going.
That's the next line. Forgive me. Grimacing out those two words, Roland thrust his sword into Samuel. Upon receiving the flat blow, Samuel gave a short, hoarse yell. Crippling depression. Yep. Samuel gave a short, hoarse yell, and, as if a thread of life had been cut, slowly collapsed as power left him. Once the miasma had thinned, Lanceville and Eliza ran to Roland's side. But Roland's face showed no sign of the typical elation of a victory in battle. Rather, he was somber, as if he was the one who had lost. Then quietly, so that no one could hear him, he muttered to himself, I can't save everyone, can I?
No, you can't.
Later. Kyle, no, you can!
But I can. Yeah. Power of the main protagonist.
Ghost is late, Lougseus.
Power of the main protagonist. Go.
For Roland. Later, upon returning to the Imperial capital, Roland orders Samuel's corpse to be purified. What does this mean? I don't fucking know. Like be with water and everything.
Basically, so while the poison may have been been producing, there's probably still poison in his body.
Oh, inside.
So they basically purged
so...
his body, cleaned up his armor, made him look presentable again.
Oh, alright. He also ordered that Samuel's body be respectfully buried next to the grave of his wife, who had already passed away. So his wife was dead.
They did say a couple decades, so.
Imagine if he wasn't disfigured and he found out his wife was dead. He made it clear that Samuel was not to be buried as a beast, not as an anti-god, but as an honored member of the Imperial Guard.
All right, podcast over.
The
Goodbye.
end.
All right, y'all. Podcast over. Goodbye.
Podcast over. Crippling depression. Yeah, the Arc Lore is something.
Yeah, no, this Arc Lore is.
It is said, hey, how can we make the Puckle sub quest look like a children's fucking sub story? I've got the perfect idea. So yeah, that was not only depressing, but it was the fact that we were introduced to a new concept and this dude that turned Samael into this beast, and this little side story with Lougseus and Lies and Roland. But yeah, that's it. Good news. We've got a collab coming, which means that in 2 weeks we won't have to tackle the unit because it's not a Last Cloud original, which means we get to do 2 podcasts of previous shit in a row.
Yeah. With the new unit releasing, or with the collab releasing, I will be doing a playthrough of Tales of Arise, which is the most recent one. Because I played the Tales series.
Okay, Dojo, can you, for anyone who hasn't played the Tales of series, as I have, tell us a little bit about that, because this is the lore podcast. So tell us about the lore of the Tales of series.
So the Tales of series is essentially Final Fantasy, just different. Instead of a whole overarching theme of like a centralized government and mana and power, it's quite literally there's like a whole bunch of crap going on in the world at the same time that isn't connected to each other at all. So like, you know how in most Final Fantasy games they'll make a reference to like one Final Fantasy or another. All of these worlds are different. They also,
so you can play one.
You can play one and not know anything else about anything else and say, "Oh yeah, I played it. I played this one." So, like for instance, I've played Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Bastaria, Tales of Vissaria, and I played both of the gacha games, which was Crestoria and Luminaria. Both of them failed, by the way. So I've played like 5 to 6 games, and Tales of Arise is the newest one. They're also on the 25th anniversary of the Tales series as a whole.
That's interesting. So maybe this collab is tied to that?
Yeah, so we'll probably be getting something along them lines. I could see them definitely throwing in people like Yuri. She's a cool character. Shione.
We know that usually we get 3 characters. Usually, because for example, in other clubs we get 4 or 5, but usually we get 3.
Yeah.
And the fact that they haven't specified the Tales game, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
As far as I've heard, it's like we're doing all of them, so maybe they're picking the main protagonist for the most known ones, or the most popular ones. You know?
So we'll see. It's gonna be very interesting.
Everyone is like, oh, they're going to put this in this character because I like them, or they're just going to be okay. Who's the main character? Who are the most popular games or the most renowned games? And that's it. That's what we're getting.
Which I'm excited because if they pick any of the characters that I like,
they don't pick. I think Adel doesn't get to pick. It's in the trade with the collab with the Tales of collab.
Literally just say Tales of.
I almost went full Spanish in there. Adel doesn't choose the units we get for collabs, guys. It's all on the which characters can we access to? Do you think we will get a free ticket?
Nope.
There's a few possibilities.
Nope.
There's a few possibilities.
Nope.
But as Berlin has said it, the way collabs work is different from collab. So in this collab we get a free ticket. In this collab we get a free unit. In this collab we get a random unit between these characters. In this collab we're getting these characters. In this collab we're getting this. I mean,
Yeah.
more as kits or weapons. Or,
now right there,
the
right
event.
what you just said with weapons. The reason that I'm excited for this collab is because depending on which series they focus on, there was always somebody in there with a gun, a bow, or an axe in your party.
Oh, so
I'm tired of sword users. We've been getting claw users, right? We got Vayne and Didi. Right? But I would love if they gave us anybody with a weapon that's not a sword. I don't want them to do the whole. Hey, this is a dagger, but it's gonna be
axe, hammer, and bow.
Axe, hammer, bow, gun. Like in the most recent one, for instance, the heroine. That's how you pronounce it, right? Heroine, like the female hero.
I think we're getting her.
Yeah,
because it's the most recent one.
Yeah,
you know.
And guess what she uses? Mm-hmm. A sniper rifle that turns into a machine gun that turns into a laser.
Holy shit, that's cool.
On top of that, her special thing is that she can't be touched. So literally,
invincibility?
No. So legit, her nickname is like Thorns, and what happens is if you walk up to her. She has a curse on her that nobody can touch her. So every time you touch her, you feel like you're getting struck by lightning just by touching her. The main character literally is immune to pain. So he could literally cut off his own fingers and not feel it. Somebody has to let him know.
Oh, shit.
Like somebody literally has to be like, yo. Like for instance, there's a scene early in the game where he grips a sword that is encased in hellfire.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Swings it, gives it back to the chick because she's the one that can like create and maintain the sword, right? And she's just like, your hands are on fire. And he's like, oh, that's crazy. Somebody give me some water.
Oh, wow, that's a thing.
He literally just like, pond, dip. And then he stands back and he pats her on the shoulder. And you see the effect of like the stuff shocking him. And he just keeps walking.
Like, nope.
So if he gets a trait like that, oh my god, he'll be so fun.
He can be like a tank, and the chick you mentioned, of course, DPS with some super armor.
There's
going on like a Bane, you know.
There's actually because somebody spoiled some stuff for me. There's actually a Barcelo styled character in the game.
I'm interested.
When I get there, I'm gonna make sure I tag Simi specifically. Like, here, Simi, look, it's Barcelo.